Right, well, it is 11 o'clock, so I am starting to talk, just so that you know that I am here. I'm going to wait a little while because I know that we are waiting for Sean. Yeah, Sean's just dealing with a Facebook type issue, so we'll wait a few minutes until she joins us. She'll be able to see when she's here. She's going to let me know when she's able to join. So, hi Annabelle, hi Sarah, I can see that you've joined. While we are waiting for Sean, just have a little chat about crochet hooks and stuff. This is going to be real basics for crocheting, and we'll go through some of the you know, the do's and don'ts, if you like. So I've got here quite a selection of crochet hooks in all different shapes and sizes. So the main thing to be aware of, if you like, when you're starting out particularly, is the shape of the hook. So for example, this one here, as you can see, it's tapered here. So this part of the hook is whatever the number says, which in this case is 5.5 millimeters. It's quite hard to see. So when you are making your stitches, you've got to make sure that you push the yarn up onto the fattest part of the hook, because that will achieve two things. It'll make sure that your tension stays okay across the body of the work, and it will also make sure that you can easily pick up a stitch and pull the hook through. If you only let the wool go up to there, the loop is not going to be big enough for this hook to go through, grab some more wool and come back through again. So you just need to be aware. Some hooks, I think I might, in fact there's one, this one's pretty, but it's the slant is quite short. You know, it's not over a long drawn out distance, if you like. This one, on the other hand, that's got a long gap there between the hook and where the actual 5 millimeter, in this case, part starts. So on this one, you would have to make sure that when you're making your new stitches, you pull them up to here to make sure you've got the right size stitch. So hook sizes, obviously it'll depend on what type of wool you use, and usually on any yarn there will be a guide for what size needle to use. There's always one for knitting needles. There's not always one for crochet hooks. So what you'll need to do is make sure that you go there or thereabouts. Whatever the knitting needle size is, go there or thereabouts. You can adjust it slightly. You can go up a size, down a size. And in terms of tension, that is a good way to regulate your tension. If you make something, especially if you are somebody who does the little tension squares, I've got to confess I'm not. But if you are somebody who likes doing a tension square, if you make the required number of rows and stitches and your tension's out, the easiest way to sort that out is either, if your tension's too loose, go down 1 or 2 hook sizes. If your tension's too tight, go up 1 or 2 hook sizes, and you'll know over time like what your Sian's here, is she? Oh no, she's not, sorry. Thought she was, but she's not. Right, I'm just going to drop her a quick message. Right. So yeah, you can adjust your tension by just changing your hook size. Basically, that's the crux of it. So for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm using quite a large hook. This one's a 6mm. This is some Women's Institute yarn that I'd got left over from a cardigan that I did. Oh, there's a knot in it as well. And and with it being on the chunkier side, it'll be good for demonstration purposes. It's on the wool label, it says use 9mm labels, 9mm hooks, needles, sorry. There isn't a thing for a crochet hook, but as you can see, it fits okay on this 6mm hook. So you can adjust your hook size. Adjusting your hook size will obviously change the tension of the work, but also, you know, if you wanted to make something that was a bit more loose and drapey, using a larger crochet hook is the way to go. So we're going to have a look at how to start your crochet. I think we're just gonna have to carry on without Sean. So when nearly every pattern that you would find on a crochet is gonna start with either chains or a magic circle. So I'll demonstrate now how to do a magic circle. Basically, take the end of your yarn like so, wrap it around your fingers maybe twice, and then on the 3rd time leave the strand towards the back. Then all you do is you put your hook under the 2 wraps, pull that last one through, grab it up and turn it, and then that is the start of your magic circle. Usually when you do a magic circle, it will tell you to maybe chain 1 or 2 and then make a certain amount of stitches into the circle. So let's just chain up 2. I'll just show you how, in principle, how it works, and then we'll talk about holding the yarn and things like that. And that's it. You would just continue making as many stitches as you wanted, and then when you're ready, you just pull this loose end that's hanging off. Ugh. Yeah, that's not working. I don't like that. So, right, we'll come back to that. Hopefully Sean will be here before we start doing it again. So, holding your yarn, let's just make a slip stitch and I'll show you how I do it. I normally wrap it around my little finger and then hold it like this while I'm crocheting. Any of my fingers get involved. Now obviously it'll depend whether you're left-handed or right-handed, but you can adjust that. You can start basically just however you like to. Just keep the yarn, keep a little bit of tension, but only on that part. You don't need to pull the wool tight, you really don't. You need to keep it quite loose, especially on a starting chain, for example. There, I'm changing my fingers now. I've decided I want that finger. So, and I tend to pinch, especially on a starting chain, I pinch my work quite close up to where you're starting. So this hand, it's entirely up to you what's comfortable. Some people like to crochet like that, as if they were holding a pen. I find that a little bit awkward myself. I can do it, but I can't be very fast when I'm holding it like that. I tend to hold mine like that, as if I was holding a knife. And I can go a lot faster doing it that way. But it's entirely up to you. That it's a personal preference how you hold the actual hook. And this side, that is how I tend to hold my yarn. You'll find something that's comfortable for you. So, right, let's get on with some basic stitches. So here, making a slip stitch to start. Basically just, yeah, wrap the wool round, pull it through, stick your hook in, and then pull to tighten and get it onto your hook. If you're making a starting chain, this is how you would do it. Let's push that all out of the way. So, chain stitches, especially when you're starting, hold the loose end and basically yarn over from the back to the front. Grab it with the hook and pull it through. And there you have one chain stitch. Yarn over from back to front, pull it through. So some people do that. That doesn't work. It makes your crochet look completely different. The correct way to do it is yarn over from back to front, grab it, pull it through. So I'm just going to do a starting chain of 10 or 12, whatever, doesn't really matter for this. And what I do is when I'm making a chain, see how I'm pushing the yarn right up to make sure I get onto this fattest part of the hook. Starting chain, you need to keep it reasonably loose but not too loose. Right, how many have I got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm just going to do one more for good measure, because usually there will be, if you're doing a crochet pattern, there will be a repeat. If it's a repeated pattern, there will be a number of stitches that the pattern repeats over, and then usually you would add 1 or 2 more onto the end of that starting chain to bring you up ready. So that extra stitch that I've just done is basic. It's not part of the bottom row. It'll come up the side like that, so that it becomes part of it brings your yarn and your hook up to the right height to start another row. So the first stitch we're going to do is something else which we need to talk about. US versus UK crochet terms. So depending on how your brain works, I guess. Me personally, I always use US crochet terms. I find it just makes more sense to me. there is lots of tables on Google, etc., that will tell you what one is to the other. So like a US double crochet is a UK treble crochet, for example. You can pull off a little, you know, a little chart from Google which will tell you how to convert from one to the other. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to use US crochet terms. A lot of patterns are US crochet terms. A lot of YouTube videos are US crochet terms. And in my brain, it makes more sense. So when you've done your starting chain, this thread that's actually on the hook doesn't count. It's not part of it. So you would count, ignore that bit, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, lucky 13. So what we'll do is we'll start with a row of single crochet. Now we're ignoring the first chain, we're skipping the first chain, and we're going to single crochet into the second chain. So for a single crochet, all you need to do is push the hook through the stitch, yarn over, pull it through, and then yarn over, pull through both stitches on the hook. So we'll do that again. We'll go in through the stitch, yarn over, grab it, pull it through, yarn over, pull through both stitches on the hook. Same again, push it through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both stitches on the hook, and that is single crochet. So I'm just gonna, I see Sean's actually joined us now, so what I'm gonna do is just have a look. If you want to ask any questions, you can just type them into the comments at the side of the video, and then I'll be able to see them and I'll be able to answer your questions. So yeah, we're going to carry on, and we're going to just do single crochet all the way along this row. So you just carry on in the same way. If you're not sure where you've got to, if you pull work apart like that a bit, you can see that the last stitch that you did is going into this chain stitch, that one and that one. So you know that you're going into this one next. You push it through, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, through the loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both stitches on the both loops on the hook, go through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both on the hook. I'll just go along to the end of the row and get some more wool going. Go around to the end, and this is single crochet, or US single crochet. Let me clarify that. I can't remember what they call it in UK terms. I probably should have brought the table up so I could tell you, but okay, so now we're on the last one here. and that is 1 row of single crochet. Now when you're looking at these stitches, you'll see the wheat ears, if you like, across the top, and if you count back, you can see you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is your first row. That's what it looks like from the front, if you like, if you were wearing it, for example. That's what it looks like. And this structure of the stitch is quite important, because you'll find on some patterns that it'll tell you to crochet into the back loop only, which would be this one here, crocheting into the back loop only, or some of them will tell you to crochet into the front loop only, which is going to be that one. If it doesn't specify, you will crochet through both loops on the hook, both loops of the stitch from the row below. But if it says back loop only, when you're coming along, you will go into the back loop and do your stitch that way. So that gives different effects, which we can get onto when we get past the basics of crochet. So when you get to the end of a row, it will tell you to usually chain 1, 2, 3, depending on what's coming in the row, in the next row. So I will just chain 1 for this next row, and then it tells you to turn your work. Now, once again, personal preference. The only thing I would say is, when you're turning it, always turn it the same way. So me, I naturally turn that way. I could turn that way if I wanted to, as long as I always turn it that way. But for me, it just comes natural to turn it that way. So I've got my chain 1 for the start of the next row there. So on this row, we're going to do a US half double crochet. So the way that we do that is, before you put your hook through these stitches, you wrap the yarn. You do a yarn over first. Now, as you can see, I'm on the back side, so you need to make sure that you are looking at the top of the work like this, so that you do pick up both loops. So you do your yarn over. I normally hold it with my finger. Put your hook through both loops of the stitch below. Then you do a yarn, drop my thread, yarn over, pull it through that stitch. You've got 3 loops on the hook. And the way to do a half double crochet is yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. So we'll do that again. We'll do a yarn over, we'll go into the next stitch, we'll do a yarn over and pull it through, which gives us 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. One more time, yarn over, through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, through the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Now you can see the difference between your single crochet and your half double crochet. It's a slightly taller row. So we'll carry on doing half double crochet, yarn over, through the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3, yarn over, through both loops of the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 stitches, all 3 loops rather, yarn over, through the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 stitches. So I'm just gonna, if everybody's happy with that, I'm just gonna carry on half double crocheting to the end of the row, and then we'll move on to double crochet. Oh, forgot my yarn over. Okay, so we're at the end of that row. On the next row, we're going to do double crochets. So if you're going to do a double crochet on the next row, what you will need to do is chain up 2 at the end of this row. So we've got chain 2, turn your work, there we go. And now this is a half double crochet. Don't be fooled by these wheat along here, because they're not the ones that you need to be looking at. These are the ones you need to always remember to turn your work and look at the top of it, so that you get your hook going through the right part of the stitch. So for a double crochet, you do a yarn over, then you obviously you can ignore those because that's your 2 chain ups that you did. Go into the first stitch, not that part, this part, yarn over and pull through. You've now got 3 loops on the hook. You do a yarn over, you pull through 2 of the loops, you do another yarn over and pull through the last 2, and that is your first double crochet. So we'll do that again. Yarn over, through the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You see, you get a completely different look. One more time, yarn over, through the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. You see, double crochet, you've got these little gaps in it, which is nice for certain patterns. So we'll do it again. Yarn over, through the stitch, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. This is a US double crochet. Yarn over, through the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, through the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Okay, so I'm going to get to the end of this row doing double crochet. Through the stitch. So when you're learning, just grab any yarn. When you are learning, it's better to use a lighter colour of yarn. If black, it's very, very difficult to see the stitches. And until you get used to looking at the shape of the stitches and which part of the stitch you've got to put your hook through, you're better off using a lighter colour because it's much, much easier to see. And hook size and yarn, not quite so crucial. The stitches are the same regardless of what size hook or what size yarn you're using. But yeah, the colour of the yarn. In general, I would say it's better not to start learning on black yarn or a really dark colour. So that is a row of double crochet. So you've got a single crochet at the bottom, you've got a half double in the middle, and then you've got a double. So we'll quickly cover off a treble crochet, or that's a US treble. So for a treble crochet, you're going to need to chain up 3 at the side. And turn your work. So on this, again, remember we're looking at this part of the stitch. Ignore those 3 because that's your treble. Right, to start a treble crochet, you're going to yarn over 2 times. Hold them there with your finger. Go through the stitch and pull up a loop. So now you've got 4 loops on the stitch. And then you will do very similar to a double crochet. You'll yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there is your treble crochet. Right. Get some more yarn. So, treble crochet, yarn over 2 times, through the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, 1, 2 wraps through the stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2. That's not right, I can feel it catching on something, so I'm going to let it go. Try that again. Right, 1 wrap, 2 wraps. That's better. So pull through 2 loops, pull through 2 loops, pull through 2 loops. Treble crochet. 1, 2, through, stitch, pull up a loop, pull off 2 loops at a time, yarn over, pull off 2, yarn over, pull off 2. So how many have we done there? That's starting chain, so you can ignore that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'll do, because I know I've got 12 stitches across my row here. So what I'll do is, rather than making a whole row of trebles and then doing a whole row of double trebles, I'll show you now how to do a double treble, which is kind of the same, just one more wrap. 1, 2, 3 times. Wrap your yarn 3 times, go through the stitch, pull up a loop. So you've got 5 loops on the hook. Then you'll pull, same again, you'll just yarn over and pull off 2 at a time. Obviously, it's a bit taller. Wrap the yarn 3 times through the stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull off 2 loops at a time. So we'll do 4 of these in the middle. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Pull off 2, yarn over, pull off 2, yarn over, pull off 2, yarn over, pull off 2. Now I'm going to go back and do trebles on the last 4 stitches. I'm just going to jump through it, and then we will jump onto some other things. Now obviously you can use these, say you wanted to make a curve in your work, you could use a series of however many stitches, and you could start with a single crochet, then you could do a half double crochet, and then you could do a double crochet, and then a treble crochet, then a double treble crochet, and then go back down and do a treble crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, etc. And what that does is, as you can see there, because we put those 4 double trebles in the middle, you've got that nice curve. And if you increase your stitches as you're going up, you can make nice, and like a nice wave like that in your work, going up and down using different size stitches. But that's what these trebles, you can see there's, you know, there's a gap. And one of the other kind of popular stitches is a front post double crochet, front post or back post double crochet. So what we'll do is, just to do a very quick demo of them, we're going to do double crochet. So we're going to chain up 2 and then turn the work. So we'll do a front post double crochet to start with. So because it's a double crochet, you are going to have to do one wrap before you start. Front post is you go down in between those two stitches. So this is the stitch we're doing a front post double crochet on. And you basically go front, back, front with the hook. You're ignoring the top of the stitch completely. You grab the yarn and pull it through, and then finish your double crochet off as normal. And what that does is it puts a line at the front up your work. Now what we'll do, just to show the comparison between the two, we'll do a front, a back, a front, a back, so you can see what that looks like. So now we're going to do a back post double crochet. So again, yarn over as usual. Then this time you're going to go from the back to the front, back to the back. You'll have to probably turn the work a little bit. Grab the yarn, pull it through. Oh, that didn't work, didn't it? Let's try it. It's because I'm trying to look on the camera and not look at the actual yarn itself. So we'll go from the back to the front like that. I tend to hold that stitch there because it makes it easier to pull that yarn through. There you go. Finish off your double crochet as usual. So we'll do a front post, front to back to front, finish off your double crochet as usual. Back post, back to the front, to the back. Oh, forgot to wrap my yarn, didn't I? Try that again. Pull the yarn. Oh. Try that again. Right, yarn over, hold it. That's what I'm doing. I'm going under instead of doing that. So, yeah, go round the loop, the post of the row below. Now, as you can see, that starts bringing quite a lot of texture into your work, because it's brought these ones forward and it's pushing these ones back, and it is carrying on the line on those ones. So you will get two distinct, if you carried on doing that, you would get lines of protruding stitches sticking out the front of your work all the way up, and that's how it adds texture, by doing front post and back post. I'm going to leave that there because that's a little bit more advanced. What I am going to show you now is crocheting back loop. We'll just drop down to a single crochet for the rest of this row, back loop only, so you can see what difference it makes. So we're going in the back loop only of that stitch, pulling up a loop and pulling through two. We're single crocheting, so there's no wrapping, through the back loop only. Pull up a loop, pull through the two, back loop only, pull up a loop, pull through the two, back loop only, I'm going to tootle along here quite quickly just so you can see the texture that puts onto your work. It's how, when you see crocheted rib, this is how it's done. You basically just single crochet, back loop only, all the way along. and that is the effect you get. So if we'll chain up one, turn it. We'll do the same coming back just to the end of there to see, so you can see what the effect it gives. So we're gonna continue single crochet, back loop only, so that is what it looks like. You start getting a ribbed effect. I'm just going to continue on these few stitches. I'll do a couple more so that you can see, if you wanted to do a crochet rib, this is all you do. Cast on however many, so it's useful for, you know, maybe finishing off the bottom of a cardigan, or cuffs, that kind of thing, or even if you just wanted to make like a rib top. Obviously, to get the rib going in the right direction though, you would have to work from side to side rather than top to bottom, if that makes sense. So that is very similar to carry, yeah. Yes, Chris, I've just noticed something's popped up on me on my screen. I didn't see all your messages. So yes, Chris, it will be available to watch later. I can add it to the videos in the group once we're finished. Sean, yeah, you can rewatch if you need. Carrie, yes, that is what it looks like. So as you can see, this is starting to take its shape. It doesn't look like rib on the back. It only looks like rib on the front. The back it's neat, but it doesn't look like a rib stitch. It's only the front that'll look like the rib. So how do you find, question for everybody, what do you think about the speed of the of working through the stitches? Was it okay? Was it too fast? Was it too slow? Yeah, that's what it starts to look like. It's like a rib. Yeah, so was I going too fast? Was I going too slow? Was it about right? Okay. Great, thank you, Carrie. Thanks for answering. I'm doing another one tomorrow, so I'm going to be repeating more or less what we've done here today. Tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. and then this afternoon at 3 p.m. we're going to be doing a macrame type basic macrame knots, followed by making a little key ring. So maybe see you later with a bit of luck, or tomorrow at some point. Let's hope we've got over the teething troubles and I don't offend everybody in the group anymore. It was an accident. I didn't do it on purpose. So thanks for joining in anyway, everybody, and I'll see you on another one soon. Okay, I'm going to finish now. All right, cheerio.